it's funny. It's interesting the world we live in now where the nerds really have won. Like it is Revenge of the Nerds because it's all technology and it's all paper, it's all ones and zeros and just they've taken over to a certain extent. But what I think, and what this pandemic and this whole moment in time and the riots and the looting and all of the stuff that's going on reveals to me, that which I already am deeply aware of all the time, is that society is a very thin, fragile exterior to absolute chaos. And we're really, it's an agreement we're all making, essentially.
Yeah.
Not saying anything your audience doesn't already know. But that's why now when
I'm sorry, but it's actually, sure they do on one level, but it's never been stated explicitly like that. So that's great to do it. Because yes, like the recent upheavals was just a glimpse of what can happen. And if people in core institutions in a society start to think that those institutions are meaningless or corrupt, then we could have rioters in the streets who are from those institutions, and then society's gone.
Right.
Right now, we just have 20-year-olds for the most part, right, who don't have a job even, much less the institution behind them. But once the institutions start to come down, which I do think is, I don't know if we were recording this or it was before we started recording, but this new generation coming out of colleges, they're going to be more and more like the AOCs and the Ilhan Omars, and they're going to be more identitarian, and they're going to be more SJW and all that stuff. And they're going to be more about canceling people for having bad ideas, et cetera, et cetera. And they're going to be in Congress and the New York Times and in all the colleges. They already are. And then, I don't know. I mean, that's basically, this formation is happening right now, where you have this new identity left politics fully inhabiting these major institutions. And that's really new, just like in the last few years since Trump, basically. And then you have the rest of society looking at this like, there's no way to relate. Like I used to be able to read the New York Times, like to get through it. I could get through it. And now I can't even really get through it.
But as somebody mentioned to me, I think it was Michael Malice, actually, he was like, but this is your enemy, the guy in the tutu. Like, this is who you're going to be fighting. And this is goes to my original point that I don't know if you're recording, where we were talking about how America has shown an enormous amount of restraint as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Because so I was born on the East Coast, and then I went through many of my preteen and then teenage years in Minnesota.
Okay.
And I deeply respect and feel connected to that Midwestern heritage that I have, and all of my friends and families there. And because I still have so many connections there, I knew Trump was going to win. And also just understand that the psychology that we see playing out online on Twitter among these media elites, I'm like, here's a fun thing. Go try and explain the letter to somebody who's not on Twitter, like my brother who works as a fireman, or somebody who's actually keeping society together. Right. Go try and explain it to them and listen to how fucking dumb you sound. Yeah. Me even, just as I was trying to explain to my cousin Maggie, who's a normie and doesn't pay attention to anything. And I was like, I feel like throwing up in my mouth for even talking about this. But on the other hand, it's deeply terrifying and chilling and unsettling what I'm seeing. But it's also a lot of media elites arguing. So it's a weird juxtaposition of things that's happening. And it's easy to dismiss as just media elites at these big institutions who are kind of having these highfalutin fights. But you're seeing people self-censoring and the chilling effect of that all over America, not just in New York and San Francisco and LA. So I don't know. This has been it's funny. My cousin and I always end our podcasts with a check-in, and we know the check-in is done because we'll be talking about the apocalypse inevitably. But now that we're kind of in pre-apocalypse, I guess. Yeah. This is like the prequel to the apocalypse.
We are totally gearing up for it. Yeah, we're practicing.
Yeah. It's like I kept calling it Apocalypse Light. I'm like, we're on our couches. I said on Twitter, I'm like, it's not an apocalypse if you're getting fat.
Or if you know the bougie restaurant scenes, like it's like a pop-up apocalypse. It's just like, it's here for a few days, but then it's gone.
It's a little bit light. It's not, you're on your couch watching Netflix. You still have things being delivered.
Right.
For me, it's like fighting in the streets. You know, I'm looking around like this, how defensible is this place? And like, I need to get somewhere that's a little more fortified. And is there a source of water nearby? And
totally. No, you really go deep with this.
Oh, I do.
That's why you like Rogan, because he's all about the crossbow.
Oh my God, I love Rogan. Rogan is my spirit animal. I just love him so much. He's
not tall though. He is not tall.
But he doesn't.
I want you to know
like
that.
I said, you don't need to be tall.
Wait, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Pull me out of the, in order to pull me out of the. Oh, you probably need to be a little tall.
Okay, now you're confusing me. I don't know what your politics are anymore. I don't know what kind of men you like. I don't know what to do.
I do respect his. He is, I guess maybe it's that like Gen X thing, but he really is representative to me of that just idea of the real dude, the real man, of just somebody who could like, who was into dude stuff and was fine with being into dude stuff and doesn't feel the need to apologize and can go, you know, likes to go hunt food and likes to do dude things like lift heavy things.
You definitely
See, he could pull me out of a stampede.
Oh, you want Joe Rogan in the apocalypse?
He can lift. Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's the colonel in my army for sure. You know.
Yeah.
Captain.